go to my page, check the posts. You see it now? On left side there is a video called live. So you can see the screen now. Okay, so here we go. So very first screen, let's restart. So start with my introduction. My name is Zulkarnain Ansari. I have 18 years of experience in user experience design, management, planning, and I have my own studio. I have 60 plus certifications. The last project which I had done was TeamViewer, and it was a project worth $45 million, and I handled a complete user experience team with the process implementation and the best practices involvement for the user experience. So last session which I provided for the team was about user research, and one of the guys who asked me for the mentorship, they raised a question that many companies do not understand about the worth of user experience. In fact, many business executives dislike user experience. They hate and treat it as a graphic design, and they don't like it simply. So I decided to make a presentation. So you can see that it's not their problem. It's not business executives' problem. It's not developers' problem. It's actually our problem. It's the user experience guys' problem. They're not communicated well. So let me provide you these screens that how you can sell your user experience, and even how business owners and executives can sell their user experience for their customers. So let's start with this presentation. Why UX considered in many organizations as a service which is not a money-making or a business-generating service. So no one wanted to simply pay amount, and no one actually wanted to just lose the money. So that's the main concern. So you have to think on this area, this particular area. Business executives aren't all the fond of UX designs or even designs in general. Executives' point of view on the user experience designs is it's inconvenient, expense, it's unnecessary cost to bear. It's a burden which they have expected to tolerate. You know the value of good design? They don't, and that's the problem. There's a communication barrier. So everyone is here? Everyone here? Okay, perfect. So the communication barrier is basically the problem. It's not the thinking, it's not a personal conflict. So where the conflict is, let's find out that conflict so you can better sell your user experience. Companies can sell their product better, and they can get something in reward. There should be a reason that people say yes to UX. People say yes to design centric. So the problem is actually hypothesis assumption. Companies' executives' point of view is not the real problem. Executives can't see it because they don't care. No one even a little bit. Not even a little bit. The real problem is communication barrier. UX designers sounds like an alien to other executives. I'm sure you guys might have watched about aliens or gladiators movies, or someone out of a universe. And there was a Hindi movie, PK, Amir Khan came from the other planets, or a very well-known actor. Was the governor of your state. What was his name? Arnold Schwarzenegger. So an alien face is talking something, and in the business owner's face or executive's face is they feeling that They're talking something of some other world. What you're actually talking, you're talking about opacity. The designers are normally talking about colors, kerning, SVGs, margins, paddings, descenders, personas, customer journey map. Some area, they don't like these languages. They feel themselves more focused, more strategist, more more focused towards the business, and they are handling the company. They're not there to listen you on these aspects. So, and the reason of conflict is it's basically your brain sides. Your part of the brain is poetic, having the feeling, the emotions, and the colors, but the business executives or the managers and the development side or the other aspects, they have the side of the brain where the analytical thoughts, ordered and verbal planning, math, these are their mindset. So you see visually that both of you guys, when you're talking, you have different worlds, opposite sides, opposite dimensions, opposite lifestyles, opposite thought process. So how to resolve this conflict? That you should focus towards the goal rather than the conflicts. There is a quotation by Robert T. Kiyosaki. The foundation of wealth and success is solving problems. So you have to be sure that you are here to solve problems, and you have to realize your executives, managers, heads, or even your customers that you are there to solve the problems, not to create problems. If they are thinking that you're actually a problem creator, they are losing their money because of you. So you have to tell them that it's actually saving the money. And how is that? So first of all, you should start with the conversation, the communication. And for the communication, you see, whatever your objective, clear communication is the key to success. So be clear about your goal. Be clear what you are talking about. Let's not forget it's you and me versus the problem, not you versus me. So you have to sit with your customer, you have to sit with your organization, you have to sit with your executives, you have to sit with your investors. That okay, let's solve the problem and identify what the problem is. And what's the objective where you want it to lead? The real objective is profit. The business is meant to be a profit. No company can become or remain a leader if it doesn't prioritize and put money behind creating a user experience that meets what customers need, and more importantly, customers' expectation. This is the point where UX helps business grow. What facts are saying? This is not only the feelings, or this is not a defend of a service. These are the companies who having the higher profitability margin. And as per DMI, design-centric companies outperformed the S&P 500 by 211%. And as per their, let me share this. This session should share with other. So I have shared to other groups too. That I would like if you guys can share it with your circle. According to BMI, design-centric companies outperformed the S&P 500 by 211%. It's a huge, huge number to be outperformed. And there's a ratio every dollar spent on the UX brings in between $2 to $100 in return. So this is where you talk money with money, a profit with profit. You're not talking the feelings. This is, you can find that Coca-Cola, Apple, Disney, all big companies are basically shifted towards design-driven companies. Apple started this. IBM taken off it, Coca-Cola, everyone. It's now design-centric. All of the companies you can see in the world who having this amount of huge profitability, they adopted the design-centric environment, the customer-centric, the user experience as a core aspect because they get the business in return. If your company, your client's company, or your service is not focused on the user experience, it means they don't see or they're unable to visualize the future. They cannot envision this aspect of growth. You have to show them, enlighten them, and you have to tell them that these are the facts, how companies are doing this and what they're saying about it. Next aspect is, let's talk what's the difference if you're talking about the UX in business. So the point of conflict is even it's in the definition. What's the definition of a business? Any activity or enterprise entered into it is for profit. So everything you are doing for the profit is your business. So you can see as an example, if I have this mobile, so the company who prepared it, they're doing it for profit. That's a profit for the company. If I am doing an activity of, I'm providing the user experience consultancy, that's how I generate my profit. So my expense of light, the cost will be drilled down, and what I will get after the cost separation, it's my profit. So everyone is working or establishing a business based on the profits. That's based on some figure or value. However, the UX, it's a feeling. It's a process of designing products, digital or physical, that your customer find useful, easy to use, or delightful to interact with. What do you see in this example? It's purely the feelings. Or another example, a definition of UX is a person's emotions and attitude about using a particular product, system, or service. Again, we're talking about the emotions. That is the primary conflict. The profit they can see, the emotions they cannot see. But how they can handshake? The emotion is the value as well. When people get the added value and from the app via emotions, it will immediately help into the excel of the profit. So they are actually related and handshaking with each other, not the separate words. Actually, these are the same words. All you have to convey your message in a rightly way with the facts and figures and tell them these are the same things, and take the responsibility that you will give that profitability as your core responsibility. You will get the leads, you will get the customer, your customer will stay more and get that data that this was the amount of time people staying in my website and now they are staying in or my app. So this is the responsibility of the user experience researchers, designers, and executioners. If user experience team is unable to provide this data, then simply they are doing an interface and no one care with their interface. So you are providing much value. Just show them the values. Okay. Now you can see there is a golden circle where you can provide or you can explore the information about anything from these three questions: why, what, and how. If we drill down this business definition into a big area, so you see any activity or enterprise entered into for the profit. Why they get into the profit? Vision, strategy, and business activities. What? They are the core activities and the value chains. And how? They have the enablers, insight from the data, speed. These are the areas. How a businessman, how a business executive, or how people in the company who have the decisions and the decision powers, their talks and lives revolves around these factors and these areas. They are not seeing you there. And where you are, UX or person emotion, their attitudes about the particular product, system, service. Why is motivations, values, and views? What is functionality and the features? How is accessibility and aesthetics? What you're doing here, you can clearly see when you're talking about motivations and values, it's exactly doing the same things. You'll get an increased digital driven revenue growth. When you work into the functionality and features, you're actually handshaking with the business core chain values and activities, the business activities, marketing activities, the development activities. So UX is actually the only service which is handshaking all the disciplines of a business, or it should be work right from the pre-sales. It should work with the marketing department. It should work with the design department. It should UX is a department separate from the design department. It should handshake with the design department. It should handshake with the QA department. It should handshake with the development or after sales. So these departments where you value your customer in which stage, even after providing them the solution or a service or a product. So this is how you handshake with your business executives. And how is accessibility and aesthetics? And you see is the data. So if you have ever heard about the infographics, infogram, or design typography. So you have the data and you have to work with innovation and innovation or creative, where you can provide a more simplistic approach to convert the user. So you are working with the data, how match with how, what match with what, why match with why. So each and every aspect of UX handshakes with the business. That you should see. And you should have a complete grip. You can convey this. What executives care about? Executives don't care about designs. We had already seen in many of the speeds. So they don't care about the design for the design's sake. Rather, they view design as a means to an end. There is one end, there is one portion that it is necessary and customer has to see, so they can deal it in such manner. They can see it in this manner. A way to attract more customers and sales, a way to grow their business. That's their point of view. So you should view their point of view. What exactly are executives thinking about? They're thinking about the results. They have a very specific set of problems they are required to solve on behalf of your company. The executive's thought process basically boils down to three basic problems. Will this save money? Will this make money? Will this cut costs? And unfortunately, then the UX service appears into their mind, or it was into their desk. What they see it will not save the money. It will actually waste of money, or it's not cut the costs. It actually increase the costs. So their decisions are based on these assumptions. This is the assumption, and I had mentioned this. What's the meaning of the assumptions? So what is the response? You have to respond them in a smart and business-oriented manner. And what does SMART means? It should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be assignable, it should be realistic, and it should be time related. I'll give you an example for that how to respond to get your UX in the best way. This is the executive language which you should learn as a user experience guys or experts. We'll be able to blow past Q3 projections if we make these 4 UX changes. You might write down in a way that, what about if we change the design in this way? Or what about if we had another option, another design option? This should be rejected. You should provide that last quarter's projection will blow, and it will be we can achieve, if you see the second example, we are losing $467,891 a month, we have some UX problems here, here, and here that would stop the financial bleeding. So either you're pointing out with some problem where the money is leaking, or you're pointing out some areas where you see that there is a value of business growth, and that potential growth can be available. It's a smart. Or we can get a 1/3 increase in revenue overnight with these UX design ideas if you're providing some idea. Right now, we are losing 8 out of 10 customers on our site. With the right UX design, I can get that down to 4 out of 10. To write this statement, you must have the access of the data. You must be aware about, and you should control this analytics, or at least handshake with the data department or department having the analytics, so you can provide the right assumptions or right statements based on the values and the facts. And then you see, we can get 1 out of 4 of our customers to spend $250 more per order per month if we make these UX changes. So in these examples, you are showing them the business. You are actually showing them the profit. You are not talking, not a single statement is talking about, what about changing the colors? What about opening a pop-up? What about saying, so you're not talking about the design. You're not talking about the UX ingredients. You're actually talking business. In this session, all of this talk surrounds around one main core concept. Talk with person who is talking in different language, so you should learn their language and speak in their language. So if you're talking with the executives, talk in the executive language. If you're talking with the designer, then talk into design. So you have to learn this language, you have to practice it. And when you practice it, I end this session based on one small tip. Never ever in my life I had lost a customer or a design prospect whenever I say something that we can do in these areas, and it will be rejected. It was never happened that someone rejected these concerns or these areas, because I always pointed out the concerns relate to the business and show them the profit margin. And then I took complete responsibility that I will be responsible for these figures. So they are mentally relaxed. The executives will be relaxed if they're talking with these figures and they see that someone is there who's taking the responsibility. So UX is all about business, my friends. All you have to just tell people. Today's session has ended. I have another meeting. So I will come live tomorrow. There's a few screens with a few other examples, and I will go you through with these examples and screens in the tomorrow's session. If you guys have any question, you can write down and tell me, and I will try to respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for the session, and do let me know what's your comment on this. I have created a form. I will share the link of that form, and please share me what you think of this mentorship session, and I will continue with some other session, and tomorrow it will be the second part of this session.